This is why we can't have good things. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. Grab your stein of coffee and tonight we're going to have a look at an article from news.com discussing Uber and, well, how they're changing some things up for us. Now, I'm going to be looking down and typing in commands because unfortunately I've got a few computer issues, so I'm running on a different machine now, so everything is just a little bit janky. There we go. So bear with me. So let's have a look at this one, because here's the thing. Uber isn't the best thing in the world. It's not a career, but for some people it's a fantastic opportunity. I did Uber for a period when I needed some money, when it was quiet. It was great. Kept the cash flow running in. It keeps people off the dole. Uber creates jobs. It creates opportunities. It gives people independence. And now, well, a good thing's going to be ruined again. They're going to make it so expensive, less people will use it, less people will be able to use Uber, and I guarantee you we will see more people go on welfare because of it. 100%. Once again, we can't have anything good because the unions and the left-leaning government know better. They want to control the relationship between you and other businesses. You're too stupid to be able to decide to voluntarily enter in this agreement. They need to set the rules, they need to control it, and, well, they need to dictate the terms. And this is going to be the consequence of it. Just wait and see. So, I'm not going to try the laser pointer, no thank you. Uber warns of price hikes of up to 85% due to workplace law shake-up. A shake-up to the nation's industrial relations laws could see average prices on Uber soar by up to 85%, the company has warned. I'm sure they're being a bit hyperbolic there. Well, some prices might go up there, but it won't be affordable then, will it? It'll be no different to taxis. And the reason why everyone went to Ubers was because it was cheaper, the service was better than taxis, and you had the flexibility. I used to do a quick Uber run to the airport in the mornings. Boom, $100. Okay, you can earn $100 before you even start the day. There you go. And right now we've got cost of living crises. We've got people who are struggling to meet their mortgage repayments. So, of course, a flexible option where someone can easily add some additional income just to get the cash flow coming in, the government's going to take away. That's what's going to happen here in Australia, guys. If you don't believe me, look at California. Look at the rules they changed there for the gig economy, for contract workers. It stuffed up a lot of people's opportunities. Here's the thing, you've got to realize you may... Just because you're not satisfied with what someone else is getting, they may be happy with it. Average prices for Uber's rideshare and delivery services could rise by up to 85% as a result of the Albanese government's proposed shake-up to the workplace rules, the company has claimed. As the Senate mulls proposed legislation that will enable the Fair Work Commission to set minimum standards and conditions for on-demand platform workers, fresh modelling released by Uber, okay, so it's done by Uber, caution that consumers can be expected to pay significant price hikes if the reforms pass Parliament. Yeah, and this is always the consumers who are the ones who are paying for that. That's just how it is, guys. In August, the government unveiled proposed changes. You've got to remember, Uber came here and they broke the law, and the government chose not to enforce the own laws that they had created to generate this artificial market for taxis. They created an artificial monopoly or duopoly in some sectors of the market to limit who could provide this service. And then they didn't enforce the laws to stop international competition coming in. So we're just going in a whole circle now, aren't we? So they've destroyed they've let the taxi industry be destroyed, and now they're going to come back, and all the consumers are going to be screwed anyway because they're turning Uber into the new taxi industry. So rather than mum and dad's owning license plates and Australian-owned companies, it's going to be an overseas one. Oh, shit. One that doesn't even make a profit. In August, the government unveiled proposed changes that would empower the Fair Work Commission to set minimum rates of pay and standard conditions for workers on digital platforms across sectors, including food delivery, ride sharing, and in-demand care. Currently, gig workers on digital platforms are often engaged as contractors rather than direct employees, meaning they're not entitled to conditions such as minimum hourly wages or sick days. Yes, because they can pick and choose when they want to work. I mean, it's 10:20 as I'm recording this. I'm struggling with computers and all the things breaking and going on. I can't anymore, but I used to when I was all set up. I could have jumped in the car and done a quick little Uber, run, go out to the concert, pick some people up, drive some people in the city. It's not hard work. You can talk to people. It's most people are really polite, really friendly, even the drunk guys. Just put some Jordan Peterson on and enjoy yourself. According to Uber's analysis, the extension of terms and conditions in relevant awards, including casual loading, penalty rates, expense reimbursement, and superannuation entitlements to gig workers on its platforms, would increase average rideshare and food delivery prices by 60 and 85%, respectively. And, I mean, the food delivery won't be affordable. Is it now? I was talking to a restaurateur the other day. They didn't mind it at all. It added extra business, helped pay the rent. Uber rides during the day would increase by 55%, while on public holidays, costs would jump by 85%, it claimed. For food delivery, ordering Uber Eats on weekends would soar up by 125% and climb by 160% on public holidays. As a result of higher prices, consumers are expected to take up to 65 million fewer Uber trips a year and order 75 million less orders on Uber Eats, the modeling shows. Now, this will have an impact on employment and jobs. This will reduce jobs. This creates jobs. This helps people keep their homes. This keeps people off welfare. This is a pretty easy bar to get into. All you need to, it's been a long time since I did it, but I remember I had a real estate friend. He needed some extra money between sales. He just did Uber delivery. He delivered the food. That was even easier than driving passengers. More than 50,000 restaurants and other businesses on the platform could expect to face a combined loss of $1.5 billion a year, while more than 40 million hours of work would be lost by drivers and riders, Uber said. Uber's submission argues that regional areas serviced by Uber, which already have fewer ride, share and delivery options, would suffer the most under the government's plan. Delivery fees in Wollongong would more than double, while ride-sharing costs in Shepparton would soar by 90%, it claims. Outlining the legislation at the National Press Club earlier this week, Workplace Relations Minister Tony Burke said, while there would be a modest pass-through in the form of increased prices, consumers would only have to pay a tiny bit extra as a result of the changes. Okay, it's government modelling. But Australia is a very socialist country, everyone. It's much more than you realise. Responding to the modelling on Monday, Mr. Burke pointed to the current Senate inquiry, which was scrutinising legislation, and said the complete absence of minimum standards and conditions must stop. But the standards are often better. You've got drivers with nicer cars, nicer setup, more polite. The important thing for the government is we no longer have a situation where Uber drivers have no minimum standards at all, he said. Well, no, there were standards. You had to get registered for have a special license. You needed special insurance. Coinciding with the release of the new modelling, Uber also launched a push to exclude penalty rates from the minimum standards the workplace umpire could apply, arguing that their inclusion could result in platforms being forced to turn off the app at certain times of day or in specific areas, or dramatically increase its fees. Additionally, Uber argued that the legislation should limit references to award standards to avoid entrenching outdated comparisons between platform work and traditional employment. Yeah, but that's the whole point of this. This is a union power grab. In a statement, Uber said that while it supported the establishment of minimum standards, it was vital that flexibility was retained under the proposed changes. You can see here the beginnings of crony capitalism, where they want to lock off any upstarts. So they get in bed with the establishment and they put restrictions. They ignore the laws. Remember, they broke all the laws, came in, destroyed the whole industry, destroy the monopolies and duopolies that the government set up. And now they want to have minimum standards in place, which will destroy any new upstarts to come and dethrone them from their place in power. This is why one makes the argument for a freer market, more competition. What's stopping anyone, if you created anyone being a Uber driver? Well, not really. You got to jump through the hoops. Or anyone starting up their own Uber. This will stop it. Hundreds of thousands of Australians make the choice to earn with platforms like Uber every month. And our aim throughout this reform process has been to preserve the flexibility of gig work while introducing additional protections for platform workers, an Uber spokesman said. The changes to regulate the gig economy form part of a second tranche of workplace changes, which also include cracking down on labour hire, making it easier for casual workers to convert to permanent roles, and increasing penalty for wage underpayments. After being scrutinised by a Senate committee, the industrial relations legislation is expected to return to the Senate in February next year. So there we have it. Let's have a chat about this one, and I'll do a wipe here. There you go. So, guys, I can't say I'm at all surprised this is what is being proposed here in Australia. Hang on, let me turn that off. What do you think? Do you think this is a good step or not? Is it just a bit of fear from Uber? There needs to be minimum standards for people, but it's all chance. When you're out there, you may get a trip, you may not. It depends on where you drive. It depends on if you look for work or if you sit on one spot, if you go to the airport and sit on your ass, or if you flitz around the city, if you take the food delivery drivers or not. Just wait, it's going to be you have to do it for a set period of time. You get a set payment. They're going to really destroy the flexibility that exists here or limit any potential upstarts. Guys, that is what is going to happen here. And nope, none of the outros or anything are working. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Bear with me as I get the channel up and running again on my secondary computer. I think I'm stuck in an infinite reboot, so I need to rebuild my whole system. Anyway, take care, have a great night, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Heiser Says. Bye for now. And this is when we got the 20 seconds of the outro stuff. Yep, the outro. I'll get the slides coming up there. See you later, guys. Computers.